Cristiano Ronaldo set to rejoin Al-Nassr squad following strike. The doors to the training ground opened slowly. Cameras waited. Fans refreshed their feeds. Teammates glanced toward the entrance without trying to look obvious. For days, his absence had felt louder than any chant inside the stadium. And now, as the sun rose over Riyadh, one question hovered in the air. When Cristiano Ronaldo walks back into the dressing room at Al-Nassr, what changes, and what doesn't? Because this isn't just about a return. It's about what happens after a standstill. The quiet that spoke. Football stadiums are rarely silent. Even in defeat, there's noise. In victory, there's thunder. But the days when Ronaldo did not feature carried a different kind of silence, the heavy, uncertain kind. It wasn't announced dramatically. There was no explosive statement posted at midnight. Just a lineup without his name. For a player whose identity has always been tied to presence, absence became the story. Inside the club, conversations were measured. Staff moved carefully. Words were chosen precisely. Outside, speculation grew like desert heat, subtle at first, then unavoidable. Why had he stepped away? What had been said behind closed doors? Was this a temporary fracture, or the beginning of something irreversible? The answers didn't arrive immediately. But neither did panic. Because both Ronaldo and Al-Nassr understood something crucial. Moments of tension are inevitable when ambition is this high. Riyadh under the spotlight. When Ronaldo first arrived in Saudi Arabia, the atmosphere shifted instantly. Stadiums filled faster. Broadcast numbers climbed. Young players walked a little taller knowing they shared the pitch with him. He wasn't just a signing. He was momentum. In Riyadh, murals rose. Jerseys sold. Children mimicked his celebrations on dusty pitches long after sunset. So when he stepped away, however briefly, it felt like the city had paused with him. The question wasn't whether Al-Nassr could survive without him for a match or two. It was whether the alignment between star and club remained intact. Inside the dressing rooms are ecosystems. Hierarchy exists, but so does balance. Leadership is shared, even when one name dominates headlines. During his absence, something interesting happened. Younger players spoke more. Senior players organized training drills with extra sharpness. Not because they were rebelling, but because responsibility had shifted, even if temporarily. They understood that Ronaldo's return wouldn't just restore star power, it would restore gravity. When a figure like him walks in, energy bends around him. Standards rise. Intensity sharpens. But it also requires harmony. And harmony, once disrupted, must be rebuilt carefully. The meeting that mattered. Reconciliation in football rarely happens publicly. It happens in conference rooms. In private conversations. In moments without microphones. Perhaps it was a discussion about ambition, about tactical direction or recruitment plans. Perhaps it was about communication, about clarity of expectations. Whatever the catalyst for his absence, the resolution required mutual understanding. For Ronaldo, legacy has always been tied to purpose. He doesn't compete casually. He competes with intention. For Al-Nassr, long-term vision matters just as much as immediate glory. Somewhere between those priorities, compromise was found. And when compromise feels genuine, return becomes possible. The first step back. When Ronaldo rejoined training, the moment wasn't cinematic. No dramatic handshake. No emotional embrace. Just a professional nod. Boots laced. Warm-up jog. Ball at feet. But in football, normalcy can be powerful. The rhythm of passing drills. The familiar thud of a shot against the net. The quiet competitive edge in small-sided games. Teammates watched closely, not suspiciously, but curiously. Was he energized? Focused? Distant? What they saw wasn't tension. It was intent. The psychology of return. Returning after a dispute is delicate. Too much emotion, and it feels forced. Too little, and it feels unresolved. Ronaldo has built a career mastering emotional control. From the roaring nights at Manchester United to the relentless pursuit of trophies at Real Madrid, he has navigated pressure like few others. So this chapter, though different in context, followed a familiar internal script. Focus on performance. Let action speak. Because once the whistle blows, narrative fades. And only football remains. The fan's perspective. Supporters are rarely neutral in moments like these. Some defended him passionately, arguing that legends deserve transparency and respect. Others questioned the timing, suggesting that unity must come first. But as news spread that he would rejoin the squad, something shifted. Hope replaced tension. Football fans are, at heart, optimists. They believe in second chances, in renewed partnerships, in goals that rewrite headlines. And in Riyadh, anticipation returned. What this means for Al-Nassr. A club's strength is tested not in smooth victories but in turbulent moments. By navigating this episode without escalation, Al-Nassr demonstrated something subtle yet significant: stability. They did not rush statements. They did not dramatize. They waited. And waiting, in a world addicted to instant reaction, can be powerful. With Ronaldo back, the team regains its focal point, not just in attack, but in mentality. His presence demands sharpness. Training intensity rises naturally. Matches carry extra expectation. But expectation, when embraced rather than feared, becomes fuel. The first match back. When his name appears again on the team sheet, the stadium will erupt before kickoff. Not because of novelty, but because of relief. The ball will eventually roll toward him, maybe early, maybe later. And that first touch will carry weight beyond tactics. It will symbolize resolution. Every sprint will be scrutinized. Every gesture analyzed. But if there's one thing Ronaldo understands, it's spotlight. He has lived under it for nearly 2 decades. And often, when the lights burn brightest, he performs best. The larger narrative. This episode will likely fade into a footnote years from now. But in the moment, it represents something larger about modern football. Stars and clubs must constantly renegotiate alignment. Ambition must match ambition. Communication must remain clear. And respect must flow both ways. Ronaldo's temporary absence wasn't necessarily rebellion. It may have been recalibration. And recalibration can strengthen bonds, if handled wisely. What could unfold? The most probable outcome: momentum. A renewed partnership fueled by clarity. With Ronaldo back, Al-Nassr can refocus on objectives: domestic dominance, continental ambition, global recognition. But football is unpredictable. Another disagreement could surface. Another shift in direction could test harmony again. The difference now is experience. Both sides have navigated tension and returned from it. That knowledge creates resilience. Beyond the headlines. In the end, what matters most is not the brief strike itself, but how the story continues. If Ronaldo scores decisive goals in the coming weeks, the narrative will transform into one of strength and unity. If challenges persist, analysts will revisit this chapter as a warning sign. But football is played forward, not backward. And for now, the focus returns to grass, boots, and possibility. Final whistle. When Cristiano Ronaldo steps back onto the pitch for Al-Nassr, it won't just be another appearance. It will be a reminder that even in careers defined by dominance, moments of tension exist. The difference between collapse and continuation lies in response. And this time, response has come in the form of return. No grand speeches, no dramatic gestures, just a footballer, lacing his boots once more. Because in the end, for Ronaldo, the answer to conflict has almost always been the same: play.